registration IDs for each address, saying you can give tax, you can give tax registration numbers or any other licenses. If it is a food business, you will have food license, or again, if you have any place license, if for constructing a building for that much height, or if you have any other licenses at least in your business, you can give that. Lease license, warehouse licenses, anything, or factory licenses. Sometimes you have pollution and pollution licenses, again you have. So those kind of things, if you have, you can give registration numbers or add registration numbers here. Then today we will discuss about number sequences. It's a step. I'll just give it down here. I'll call this process as generation of number sequences. So I'll explain you the theoretical concept of what is a number sequence, or what do we call as a number sequence in Dynamics. Usually in Dynamics we have a concept called as number sequence, which gives unique numbers for each transaction that you do. So you might do a lot of activities in your business. As we know, we do many activities in finance modules, as well as supply chain, as well as in trade and logistics and production modules. And in coming to finance, we will do regular day-to-day transactions, like we will post normal journals, expense journals, revenue journals, or purchase orders, invoices, fixed asset transactions. So if we do such transactions, every transaction will have a unique number, and there are number sequences or unique number formats for each and every activity that we do. So this we have to configure firstly. Actually, when I see here in the Dynamics, so I'll just walk you through that. Before that, I'll just close this page. Okay. If I close this page again, it will show me that here normally. I'll change it back to my legal entity that we created yesterday. So our legal entity is MRF, right? So I'll change it back to MRF. So now I can see MRF page, or whatever I do now will be related to MRF. Okay. So this concept of number sequences is in every module. Mostly in every module you have number sequences. For posting any transaction, you will definitely need a number sequence or a unique number for the transaction. So why do we use these number sequences, or why do we have unique numbers for every transaction that we do? Any idea, anyone?
The transaction.
What?
To track the transaction.
Exactly, to track the transaction. So to maintain the database, as well as once it is posted and it is saved somewhere, to track that particular transaction, we should have a unique number. So we might be posting 100 transactions today, or 100 expense transactions today, but within that, how you can specify it's a transaction, or it's a, how you can specify a single transaction with that can be specified or identified only through the unique number that is associated to that transaction. So it's compulsory, as well as it's much required in business, that you have to maintain proper number sequence formats in order to record your transactions, or to have unique numbers for each of the transactions that you record in the business. So for that purpose, we will generate number sequences here as well. Going forward, we'll create many journals, and for each journal, we will also separately create a number sequence format, or what also we also call it as a voucher format or voucher numbers format. Any name you can call it as. So here I am generating number sequences for all the modules at a time, wherever it is required. So if I would walk you normally through different modules, I'll go to general ledger module for suppose. Here for general ledger module, here within this I have ledger setup and general ledger parameters. Everywhere you see this number sequences only in parameters. Okay. So I'm going to general ledger parameters now. Takes a while to load.
Is it like equivalent to of ledger folio what we have in tracking? Not same.
So everything have a number here. The accounts that you create does have unique numbers. The transaction that you post does have unique numbers. Okay. You also create purchase orders which have unique numbers. You have again invoices which have unique numbers, and transactions related to invoices will have unique numbers. So everything will have its unique format. So if you design your formats in such a way that whenever you look at the voucher number, you can identify what kind of transaction it is. I'll tell you how to frame that. It's a requirement in business usually. When I get to that point, when we have to create a journal and then assign a voucher number to that journal, I'll tell you how to design a voucher number. Okay. How you can structureize unique voucher number such that when we post transactions, that kind of voucher number will be picked in, and it's easy to identify what kind of a transaction it is looking at that voucher number. Okay. So if I go to number sequences, usually here in this general ledger, I can see all of these are empty. Okay. So these number sequences, these are for different purposes. As you can see here, journal batch number is for a purpose. This trace number transaction reversal is for a purpose. This transaction reversal is whenever you reverse any transaction that you post, it will take number sequence or voucher number from here, the unique number from here. In the same way, we have different number sequences for different activities. So these are all empty here. You can manually create one by one and assign it here. But rather than creating them manually for each module, again for each number sequence one by one, you can directly generate for all over the module, all the modules at one time. So that's what we are going to do today. Generation of number sequences for all the modules at a time. So this is simply an example of general ledger. I'll again walk you through accounts payable module. In accounts payable module under setup again, I have accounts payable parameters. So in parameters, I have number sequences usually. Just click on parameters. We'll discuss about everything again, but just to show you how it will work, this generation of number sequences, how it will work, I'm just showing you the empty fields first. Later it will be filled automatically once we generate number sequences. So herein we have number sequences, as you see, and all of them are empty here. We don't have any number sequence filled in. All of them are empty. Okay, we don't even have something to select. We might, no, we don't have. Sometimes you will have 4 steps. That's all. So here, as you can see, organization administration, number sequences and number sequence. It's a 3-step navigation. Just write down the navigation so that it will be helpful for you for further reference. So if I click on number sequences here, it will take me to a page where there were already number sequences that are created for different legal entities, which were already there in this organization or in this environment. Okay, we have to generate it for our new legal entity that we have created today. So I only have one new legal entity, one new legal entity for which number sequence are not generated yet, and that is only MRF. For the remaining all legal entities, I have number sequence. See, it took me to this step where it is saying welcome wizard. So I have few steps here to do. Then there is nothing to do here. Just click next here in this. Again, once I click on next, it will show me the number sequences that it have generated for me. I can see these number sequences here. It starts with MRF and it is almost 6 digits. I can see this hashes indicates digits, which means the first or smallest number is 1 and the largest number in the 6 digits is 999999. You know, this will be the largest number. So in this format, it takes the numbers as it is indicating. For this is for accounts payable. And again, if we scroll down, we can see the number sequences generated for accounts receivable module as well. So actually, it's taking some time, but it will have accounts receivable as well as general ledger as well as tax module. Every module it will have. There is something wrong with my system. Right. Here you can see accounts receivable. Now you can see bank, bills of materials, which is supply chain module, then budget module, general ledger, human resources. For all modules, it will automatically generate number sequences. Most of them will be in the same format. Later, once after generation, if you want to change the format, you can change it then. Okay. So there's nothing to do here even. You just have to look into this and click on next. You can see next here. And it indicates, it just gives the statistics of how many number sequences are being created for each module. You can see for accounts receivable, there were almost 68, and for the receivables 63, And for each module, there were certain number of number sequences being created, and you can see that count here. So once after clicking next 2 times, and you can click on finish here. Okay. If you click finish, it will insert those number sequences that it created automatically into designated modules. Now it is done. So now the task is completed. I can go and check it. So I'll just duplicate this tab. So to duplicate this tab, just right click here and click on duplicate. It will open the same tab once again on the same page as well. So here, now I will go to general ledger module again to show you if the number sequences are inserted or not. So I'll go to general ledger module here. Go to ledger setup and general ledger parameters here to check again if at all the number sequences are inserted properly or not. So here in this, I have number sequences. Now you see all of them are filled up automatically, and it took unique number sequence for each of them separately. Everything you have unique numbers. So this have unique number, this have unique number. So how do we can check is we can double click on this. Actually, once you see the blue color link, you can double click and it will take you to that number sequence. So this is how a number sequence format look like usually. So here company name and constant is not there, but numbers are there. So it will come in this format. MRF as well as 00001 will be the next. In the same way, this 999 will be the last number, last voucher number. If you want, you can increase the numbers also. You can keep more than 60, more than 6, as you would say, more than 6 numerics. So here also you can keep more than 6 hashes. I'll separately explain you how to design this number sequence format individually. I mean, how to design or what are the different features available in this and configurations in this, how it will work and all. I'll explain you again in another class. For now, just concentrate on generating the number sequences and that they are getting inserted into every module. So you don't have to check again, but just for sake, you can check one module at least to see if the number sequence are filled up automatically. So we have seen here in general ledger, it is filled up. If I see accounts payable and accounts receivable also, they will be filled up. So I go to accounts payable, so I have parameters under setup here. Under setup, I have accounts payable parameters, as you can see. If I click here, I can see here. So all of them are filled. Okay. So these are for all of them are for separate purposes. This vendor account is for a separate purpose. For whenever we create a vendor account, number will be taken from here. So vendor number 1, vendor number 2, vendor number 3, like that. So you can design it again inside. You can change in which format it should. The concept of generation of number sequence, actually, those are the steps you have to follow. And as I told you, number sequence are used for unique activities. So it's for each number sequence or for each activity or transaction that we do in business does have unique ID, which is a number sequence or voucher ID, what we call. And we will work because we have to create a lot of transactions, right? So we will work on them and we will see how the number sequence mechanism works in real time or while doing transactions later. Okay. Since this is a step that we have to do in organization administration, I have told you with the legal entity creation itself. So you can also generate them later after 4 or 5 classes also, but better you generate it in the first instance itself. Okay. So work on this and let me know if you face any trouble while you generate number sequences in your system. Okay. If you are clear with
Now again,
this topic or good with this, something. Bala చెప్పండి.
again,
Voice is
I
breaking
think
again.
there seems to be some
Your
issues
voice is
with
not audible actually.
us.
1 second, then I'll just change my connection. Okay. I'm so sorry for that. Voice ping. Thanks. Then I'll connect my mobile data. How about now?
Now it's perfect.
Is it perfect now? All of you?
At least for now, it is good.
Okay, right then. So,
Maybe
right.
maybe it is causing all these things issues, I think.
Because of?
Maybe.
Maybe, possibly. So Wi-Fi gets slowed down when it rains, you know. Okay, as I was saying, if you are clear with this topic that we have discussed, we will go for another topic today. Calendars. We'll get an introduction of calendars today, and we'll continue discussing this one today and tomorrow as well. Okay. So, can anybody say what is the significance of calendars in business? Why do we need a calendar?
Again, for tracking purpose.
Financial
One important.
years. Yeah, for the financial year transactions, like year to year, these things will be done in this calendar.
Okay. One more point. And anything
Quarterly.
else?
Quarterly.
Yes. So his point is also right. Quarterly or to maintain periods or data in periods. Perfect. And
Ending report.
of course, for preparation of reports, it's very important for preparation of reports. Good. So as everyone said, few points, all of them are correct. Calendars are much needed for maintaining the transactions. I mean, has a unique date for each transaction that we record. And moreover, every company will have a specific fiscal year and fiscal periods defined on the basis of which they will maintain their data, as well as they will use these periods to record the transactions, as well as to close the periods to stop the users from recording the transactions in those periods, as well as at the end of certain period to extract the data or to prepare the reports basing upon that particular fiscal periods we design. So calendars are most useful in every aspect of business, and without a calendar, you cannot do any transactions in transaction in Dynamics. And without following a calendar, no business will run or no business will do any transactions. Okay. So then, anybody have any idea about what is a fiscal calendar? Anyone? Any idea? Just a definition or overview of your understanding about a fiscal calendar.
It is a financial calendar, like
Okay. It's a financial calendar, as I said. No, it's not financial calendar. Fiscal calendar is used for every activity other, I mean, including finance. So fiscal calendar is usually are the calendars upon which your business works, or which calendar pattern that your business is following. As I would say, in India, usually fiscal calendar or fiscal years start from April 1st to March 31st. So whereas when you go to US, their business starts from their pattern of calendar is from 1st of January to 31st of December. Okay. So which calendar pattern you want to follow will be the fiscal calendar in your company. So we usually call the calendars that we follow in the legal entity as fiscal calendars in terminology of Dynamics, as well as outside also you'll call it fiscal calendar only. What is the fiscal calendar structure of the company? They will ask you the question. Yes, you can say they're following it starting from April 1st to ending of March 31st, which is called a fiscal year in business perspective in India. Usually it changes from company to company, country to country, it changes. So what all the authorities will follow, companies usually follow the same. When it comes to US, they'll follow January to December pattern. When it's come to China, they'll follow, few of them will follow from July 1st to June 30th. So their calendar year starts from July 1st and ends with June 30 in businesses. So that's what we call as a fiscal year actually. So where it starts and where it ends, we call it as fiscal year. And the calendar which holds all these years is called fiscal calendar. So now I can create a fiscal calendar for you, and I'll show you how to create a fiscal calendar for a legal entity, or what could be the requirement of the clients in the business, how they ask about fiscal calendars, or how they want to maintain fiscal calendars, and what are the different options Dynamics provides you to design calendars or to meet the different business scenarios that client might have in their business. I'll explain you all of them. Okay. So we also have a concept of ledger calendar in Dynamics. Ledger calendar is not entirely about calendar and all. It's about certain permissions and all. We will discuss that ledger calendar. It's a topic, a new topic out of general topics. So we will discuss this once after we complete the fiscal calendar topic. Fine. Getting back to the configuration part, so we'll see. So does anybody have any confusion in this? What is meant by fiscal calendar, or why it is required in business? No.
So why the Chinese will keep that July 1st to June,
It-
June 30? For
it's their local authorities, or if they would follow that pattern, they will follow that year. So it's not mandatory that every Chinese person will follow, Chinese business will follow the same pattern. It differs. In India, normally we follow from April 1st to March 31st because our authorities will have, or our companies act or our tax act will follow this calendar year only usually. So in order to sync with all of them, we follow the same year. So to report your taxes, or to file your taxes, or to get your accounts audited, so for all these things you have the same year, right? So you'll follow this. It changes from authority to authority in different countries again.
So
Okay.
will there be any clash between this fiscal calendar and normal calendar that we follow actually? Not exactly clash, but in terms of conflict of
No. See, if you have a Indian legal entity and if you have a US legal entity, both of them are separate. And if you want to follow two different calendar structures for two legal entities, then you have to design two different calendars. Okay. And if you have all of them are Indian located companies only, suppose you have 10 legal entities and 10 of them are India based only, and all of them have to follow same calendar pattern, then you can design a single calendar and assign it to all the companies or all the legal entities. You can use that single calendar. But within an organization, if you have multiple legal entities from different countries, then you have to design separate calendars. Okay.